Keep your hands off the thermostat, Dad. Tonight, galactic legends collide with Gotham's coldest criminal in a battle that's about to get a little hairy. Welcome to another Who Would Win Masters Summer Tournament battle. I am Sam Proof on all the socials, and in this episode, representing Lucasfilms, the walking shag carpet who spent decades riding shotgun through the galaxy, the co-pilot who puts the fur in Furious, it's Chewbacca! And representing DC Comics, the scientist who read the pre-show comments on the Discord and wants y'all to chill out, the cold-hearted criminal who keeps his relationships and his enemies on ice, Mr. Freeze! I wouldn't want to fly solo for this episode, so joining me for this flight is your captain, who famously shoots first and did it all for the Wookiee, Ray Stacanis.
That is true. All of it is true. I'm not even going to let you ask me a question, Sam Proof. Nope, I am so excited for this. The answer is I do shoot first and ask no questions because I was clearly right to shoot first. Welcome to the summer tournament. This is the second match of 4. Some would argue right out the gate that this is the loser's bracket. I would not make that argument, but some would, and this is the point I'd like to make.
Exactly. All right. Before we get into some icebreakers with our meeting our debaters, should we just jump into the tale of the tape?
Well, real quick, I just want to say the summer tournament's been very successful so far. We've had one match in the books, maybe even one decision has been made by the time we actually put this out there. I don't know how time works. I'm basically Dr. Manhattan. Everything is happening all at once up and down the timeline for me constantly. Don't worry about that. But tonight we have Chewbacca. We have the Star Wars faithful. I did wear my Star Wars shirt for the occasion. That is not to throw my support behind a certain character. I just don't have a Mr. Freeze shirt, and I felt I had to be thematic in some way. The other side, Mr. Freeze, who arguably one of the best, if not the best episode of Batman, the animated series, was the one that Paul Dini introduced his backstory. I'm sure Matthew will talk about that when we introduce him. But honestly, like it was so good on the animated series, they just retconned it to be his actual story from that moment forward. Couldn't be more excited. So anyway, that is the story. That is what we've got. I am ready for the tale of the tape.
All right. I want to put a quick side note in that I will be doing no Chewbacca imitations because...
Oh, thank God.
I did one earlier. I was practicing earlier, and I hurt my tongue. That's 50, folks. I hurt the underside of my tongue pretending to be Chewbacca just for you. Let's go on. Let's move on. Let's make it happen.
Fair enough. Well, tonight's tale of the tape is brought to you by Samurai Swords. If you're ever worried that your friends aren't impressed by you enough, consider getting a samurai sword. If you have a samurai sword hanging on your wall, mathematicians agree you are 82% cooler. And after all, who isn't impressed when they see a $79 sword you bought at Disney's Epcot Center on summer vacation? The answer is nobody. Nobody cool, at least. Samurai Swords, for when you don't want to get a snake tattoo. Tonight, we have another exciting matchup. Thank you, Samurai Swords, for sponsoring the show. We have another exciting matchup in our summer tournament. Let's get to know everyone involved. First off, we have Chewbacca. Chewbacca is a Wookiee from the Star Wars universe who fights on the side of the rebels. He's big, he's strong, and he's hairy. He carries around the bowcaster, one of the most potent firearms in the world of Star Wars. Chewbacca was created by George Lucas and first appeared in the movie Star Wars: A New Hope back in 1977.
And representing Chewbacca today is one of the most prolific podcasters in the history of the medium. He is a longtime guest in the world of Who Would Win and has roughly, it looks like 72 different ongoing podcasts. The one and only Delvin Cox Experience. Delvin, how do you feel about repping Chewbacca today?
I feel very good about it. Also, I feel like since Sam is going to chicken out us and not do his Chewbacca impression, I need Matthew to do his Mr. Freeze, and I will do a Chewie.
All right.
Excellent. No notes.
Fantastic. I want the whole episode to just be that throughout.
No,
Just whenever you feel like doing it. Can we put that in the soundboard?
That should work.
Here's the deal. I'll clip it, I'll add it, and Riverside will delete it. That's just how this program works.
Yeah, that's right.
Unfortunately, Delvin, I
That's
do
what
want
we
to
pay
know.
premium for.
Thank you. That's what I pay the big bucks for. Thank you, Riverside.com. I'm sorry, .fm. Ooh, don't want to get that wrong. Delvin, what is your connection with Chewbacca? That's the part I want to know. Obviously you love Chewbacca. You're here with him today.
Yes. I love Star Wars. I'm a big Star Wars fan. And Chewbacca is one of the, when you watch the original Star Wars movies, you see this giant character that's larger than life who's feels like he should be a main character because he's such a expressive,
Large
emotive
presence.
character and such a incredible presence. But he's this kind of cool sidekick character that we just all love. And Chewbacca's interesting because he's someone who's strong, but also lovable, but can murder you at a drop of a dime.
Yeah. That's true. Would you feel more comfortable with Chewbacca or Han Solo? Let me ask that question.
That's a great question. I feel like because the way the movies are set up and the comics and stuff are set up, probably Solo, because they give Solo more stories and more moments. But if you want to go towards the actual character themselves and feats and things that you think they would do, it should be Chewie.
Wow.
Chewie has the ability.
Honestly, I was expecting a more surface level answer, and you really nailed it. So we're going to go ahead and move on before I make you look any better. So let's get to know your opponent, Mr. Freeze, because Victor Freeze, he was a brilliant scientist who got turned into an ice-based supervillain who's forced to live inside a specially made cryosuit to maintain his body at low temperatures. Now, he was originally in comics known as Mr. Z, and Victor has always wielded a freeze gun and been a problem for Batman. He was created by Dave Wood, Sheldon Moldoff, Bob Kane, and Max Hodge, and first appeared as Mr. Zero back in Batman number 121 back in 1959.
And repping a character this cold is a guest with ice in his veins. It's Mortalverse creator Matthew Dawson. Now, Matthew, you make DC comic-based audio dramas. Does that give you an advantage in this battle?
What killed the Wookiees? The Ice Age!
Yeah, that was pretty
I
good.
owed it.
Yeah, that's good. That's great.
Yeah, I've written Mr. Freeze before, so this was really interesting. And now I have, in preparation for this, read so much Mr. Freeze stuff. I've read everything from when he was Mr. Zero back in the 50s and 60s to when he was reinvented by Paul Dini brilliantly. And it's such a character that I once I liked him. He wasn't one of my favorite Batman villains. He wasn't a Bane or a Joker, but now I love Mr. Freeze. He's just an incredible character. And, I would be reading these comics. I'm like, wait, I'm supposed to be measuring how hard he punches people. And I'm just so enthralled by this guy's mission to save his wife,
Love that.
So, hopefully Chewbacca doesn't want to stop this poor man from getting his sick wife healthy again. I mean, that would be awful. Who would want to root for that?
I do have a question for Matthew Dawson here. You might have given it away here through your initial talk, but it seems like you're doing the comic book version and not the Otto Preminger superior version from the Batman 66 TV show.
Unfortunately not. I did think about, Arnold Schwarzenegger, of course. Batman Beyond actually has a great version of Mr. Freeze in a couple episodes.
Sure. Yeah,
that whole universe with Batman the Animated Series too. But no, I am going with the classic comic book version.
See, I'm going to say right now that might be a mistake. I would have gone with Mr. Freeze from the Arkham City video game on hard mode, because then Delvin needs to come up with at least 8 ways to beat you.
That would actually have been a great idea, honestly.
Yeah.
Ray, I may have something for you. For you.
Here's the deal. I'm excited to see it.
All right. Well, let's put that on ice and get into our rules in under a minute.
Here are your rules for Who Would Win Masters in 1 minute. Number 1,
There will be 3 timed rounds with counterpoints allowed. Number 2, characters will have no prior knowledge of their opponent and no outside interference will be allowed. Number 3, keep the characters in character. Outliers and crossovers will be given less weight. Number 4, battles can be won by death, knockout, battlefield removal, or incapacitation. And number 5, after the battle, I will give my unofficial opinion as to who wins and why. However, I am just one voice. It will be up to all of you on our social media and our Patreon to make your voices heard as to who won. And of course, since this is the summer tournament, it will be Ray and I giving our decisions.
That's right.
But again, we are just 2 voices, and it will still be up to the Patreon to actually make the final decision. With that being said, before the show, Delvin, you won the coin toss and will be starting us off. So 3 minutes on the clock for your point number 1 for Chewbacca, starting now.
Let's just start off with Chewbacca's weapons, because Chewbacca has surprisingly a surprising amount of weapons that he can use in this battle. The first one I want to go with is the bowcaster. The bowcaster is a Wookiee weapon that he crafted during the Clone Wars era. It uses quarrels, which are like these metal projectiles that are covered in plasma energy blasts. And by using positive and negative polarizing energy orbs balanced at the end of the bowcaster, the quarrels shoot out and cause so much force by someone shooting it. Only a Wookiee can actually shoot it properly. So you have to have a lot of strength to carry it. Also, because the quarrels are in the plasma shots itself, it pretty much works as armor piercing rounds. So if Mr. Freeze's suit might not even be able to take one shot from these things, as opposed to like if he gets shot in the head, that might immediately kill him, because these rounds are powerful, because not only is it plasma, it's actual metal that's going into it. So that's going to be a challenge within itself. Speaking of the bowcaster, it has a range of about 30 meters, which gives Chewie plenty of range to kind of pick off Freeze from the back from a long distance without having to get close enough to have to deal with the freeze gun. The freeze gun has a decent amount of range, but I don't think it has as much range as the bowcaster. So I would give the bowcaster the advantage in terms of like a distance battle. Also, Chewbacca carries thermal detonators, and he can use basically essentially grenades. Like he can use these grenades to attach on to Mr. Freeze and blow up parts of the suit or blow up the suit in itself, but can also use the grenades as kind of a controlled demolition to blow up ice structures or to blow up the ground, like if Mr. Freeze liked to freeze the ground a lot and make it slippery. And Chewbacca can use these grenades to kind of blow those structures up to make room for itself and kind of even damage the helmet. So, and also, last but not least, Chewbacca has what's called a bandolier. And the bandolier is kind of like essentially a utility belt that Chewbacca carries around with him when he does the battle. He can kind of not only get his equipment back up and stuff like that, get more grenades or things like that. He also can fix his gear. So if his bowcaster was to get damaged in battle,
30 seconds remaining.
he has enough equipment to fix the bowcaster and keep going. If he needs to get more little metal shards for his bowcaster to shoot weapons, he can kind of build some on the spot there. And the thing about Chewbacca is Chewbacca is very resourceful. He knows how to work in his environment and make it work towards his advantage. And he's also quick and fast thinking. So I think a lot of these things will work in Chewbacca's favor in this battle and kind of give him a little bit of edge early in this battle for the first round.
All right, strong start for Chewie and his weapons. Matthew, 3 minutes on the clock for your point number 1.
Nope.
Starting,
No,
we're doing counterpoint first?
Yes, counterpoint first.
My bad. All right, Matthew, 1 minute on the clock for your counterpoint. We'll do your point later.
Yeah, Delvin said a lot of great things here. I love Chewbacca. This is so hard to go against this guy. Everybody hates something about Star Wars. No one hates Chewbacca. So it sucks that I got to tear him down a bit here. You heard him say it. The bowcaster has a range of only 30 meters. That's not very impressive. That's 34 yards for us Americans. And, I've seen underrated running back David Montgomery go for runs way farther than that. Han shot it properly, so saying that only Wookiees can shoot it. We all saw The Force Awakens. Han shoots the bowcaster. He's perfectly fine. yeah, I don't get Chewbacca being this master marksman if he has this crossbow, which by all means should be kind of the sharpshooter weapon. And I see Delvin already going for the helmet, the glass dome that Mr. Freeze has. It's not going to work. I'll talk about it later. And Chewbacca never goes for headshots. Ran out of time. And I'm not going to keep going over like some people.
All right. But you will have time, as it is now your point number 1, so you can continue your thought or move on to more pressing information. 3 minutes on the clock, starting now.
Just finish that point before. Chewbacca rarely goes for headshots. He never hits people in the head. He is going for body shots. I've never seen him hit a headshot, and I watched a lot of Star Wars for this. Anyway, on to Mr. Freeze. I want to talk about his IQ and skill. Firstly, we have to get something out of the way. Mr. Freeze isn't an accurate title. This man is a doctor. He has a PhD. It should be Dr. Freeze, but maybe that just doesn't roll off the tongue. Maybe he's humble. I don't know. He has a brilliant mind. He was once a science teacher. He's an engineer. He built the cryo chamber that keeps his wife Nora alive while he searches for a cure for a deadly disease. He's built all the tech that we're going to talk about in a later point. Mr. Terrific, undeniably DC's smartest character. He once said Mr. Freeze's tech was at Lex Luthor's level, and even compared it to tech found on Apocalypse, the New Gods tech. That's an insane feat for IQ on Mr. Freeze. He has also, quote, mastered the art of war. He's a brilliant strategist and tactician. He's one of the only Batman villains that teams up with other villains actively. And he had this great idea of hey, let's get Kite Man to fly me around the city and I'll just shoot people while I'm flying. That's great with this freezing. He's just flying around freezing everyone. And that boss fight that Ray mentioned in Arkham City, that's accurate. Batman is never able to take down Freeze in the same way twice because Freeze is constantly upgrading himself to stay on or above Batman's level. He's invented ice cannons powerful enough to freeze skyscrapers and entire city blocks. He's invented mind control collars. These were fun. He used mind control collars to control the minds of polar bears and use polar bears to fight Batman. Who's pretty close to a polar bear? Chewbacca. He's pretty bear-like. He got the sounds of Chewbacca from a bear, fun fact. And he even built a jetpack that could fly to the sun in seconds. This guy is a genius. Mr. Freeze's most useful tactic for a fight like this might just be his control over the battlefield. He is always freezing ceilings, so opponents have to keep track of not only him, but raining, debris, and impaling icicles. That is how
30 seconds remaining
is going to start this battle. Chewbacca is going to be there. First thing Freeze usually does is freezes the ceiling, wherever they're at. Now Chewbacca has to focus on 2 things. Mr. Freeze in front of him, and an icicle impaling him in the head. And Chewbacca doesn't have a helmet. He doesn't have armor. He has a little satchel, whatever Delvin called it, and that's not anything compared to what Mr. Freeze is bringing to this fight.
All right, Delvin, 1 minute on the clock for Chewie's counterpoint. Watch out for falling icicles. Starting now.
I love Mr. Freeze, but also, and granted, Mr. Freeze is very intelligent, but his intelligence is usually making things off the battlefield, not necessarily on the battlefield. Also with Mr. Freeze is he has very good control over the environment. But like Matthew was saying, he can create things on the wall. If he tried to freeze the top of the ceiling and stuff like that, Chewbacca is smart enough and resourceful enough to shoot the ceiling, and the ceiling will just collapse on Mr. Freeze as well. And in a situation like that, that would probably hurt Mr. Freeze more than it would hurt Chewbacca. They are both very resourceful characters, but I think Chewbacca is a little bit more faster and a little bit more quick-witted on a battlefield as opposed to Mr. Freeze. Mr. Freeze is smooth, cold, and calculating, while Chewbacca is better on his feet, and I think that will give him the better advantage in a one-time, first-time encounter.
All right. There's a lot of good stuff for point number 1. Ray, do you have any quick thoughts before we
I
move
think
on?
it's very fascinating. Sometimes when you see a battle like this, especially among 2 people who don't do it 52 times a year or what have you. And they often kind of escalate in the same way. But I've seen both of you building your arguments in two very different ways. And that gets me very excited for where we're going forward.
All right. I like to point out that it's a bold assumption to make that there's even a ceiling for icicles to happen that in a neutral location. I don't know
Interesting.
if that's so
I will
neutral,
get
but
to that in a
maybe.
second.
We'll see. We'll see. I don't want to build Delvin's case for him, but we'll come back and see what happens in point number 2 after this. All right, it is time for the point number 2s. Delvin, you'll start us off. 3 minutes on the clock, starting now.
My point number 2 is this: the strength of Chewbacca. Chewbacca is an incredibly strong character. He is known for easily lifting and throwing stormtroopers in full armor, breaking out of restraints, and in close quarters combat, he's also known to rip off the arms of not only stormtroopers, but droids and things like that. So, and honestly speaking, Mr. Freeze can't use his gun if he has no arms. Like that's just a fact. So if this battle gets close quarters at any point in time, Chewbacca can rip off his arms and this battle's over. Or even worse, God forbid, rip off his head or rip off the helmet. Now, and the thing about it is, because the way Mr. Freeze looks, he kind of looks like a droid. So I don't think Chewie would do it intentionally thinking it was like a human, but he would just do it like out of instinct and just rip off his arms. And also, another interesting thing about Chewbacca has claws. I know that's kind of like a fact they don't talk about. So if you're like freezing floors and stuff like that, he has claws on his feet that gives him the ability to walk on ice. As well as, because of his fur, he can kind of withhold a lot of those temperatures and things like that as well. Also, another point about Chewbacca is, despite his size, he's very nimble, he's agile, and also to go to the point that was talked about earlier, that's what I was going to bring up. If this battle is in a closed environment, in an up close quarters environment, I think that works in Mr. Freeze's favor. But because it's a neutral environment, I think it's going to be an open combat with a lot more space for Chewbacca to maneuver. And because Chewbacca has the space to maneuver, he has the space to shoot from far. I think Chewbacca has better long-range weapons and better close-range attack. I think Mr. Freeze probably has the advantage in the mid-range, but with the way Chewbacca maneuvers, he has a lot of different ways that he can take out Mr. Freeze, whereas Mr. Freeze kind of has not as many, because I think while the Freeze gun is good, I don't think it has quite the range as the bowcaster. And if Chewbacca gets in close to Mr. Freeze, I think it's going to be over. It's going to be a quick battle. Chewbacca rips off his arms, and that's the match.
30 seconds remaining.
And I think that's going to be the interesting thing about this fight. I think this is a battle of two different characters, but I think Chewbacca has the long-range advantage and the short-range advantage. I think Mr. Freeze, I will concede that Mr. Freeze has that middle-range advantage, and he has enough to kind of change the terrain. But like I said, with Chewbacca's weapons, especially the thermal detonators, he can also change the environment. So if Mr. Freeze freezes the floor, Chewbacca just throw out a thermal grenade and blow the floor up. That matters.
All right, Matthew, you have 1 minute to counterpoint the arm ripping or whatever you wish. 1 minute on the clock starting now.
I can't deny how great of a point. Blow the floor up. Just blow the floor up. That is a great point, and I love it. But hey, don't let his fur coat confuse you, okay? Chewie is affected by cold temperatures. In Force Awakens, he complains to Han that he's cold while they're on Starkiller Base. Meanwhile, Han and Finn are standing there, and they're not even wearing, like, earmuffs or anything, and Chewie's complaining that he's cold. And remind me, was it Chewie who went to go and save Luke when he was stranded on Hoth? No, he made his best friend go out in a light jacket and a tauntaun to go save Luke while he stayed inside a nice heated rebel base. So, and the armor, you compare Stormtrooper armor to Mr. Freeze, it's not even comparable. They have little joints where, I don't even know why I'm wasting time. Comparing Stormtrooper's armor to Mr. Freeze's is just silly. Chewbacca also slips on ice.
Oh, I really want to hear the rest of that.
He
but
does.
it is
He does slip
time
on
for your
ice.
point number 2.
I
All
don't
right,
remember the clip where Chewbacca does a full-on like wipeout and lands on the ice.
Let my point number 2. Give me time.
Yeah, here's the deal. Let's get right to it then.
Yeah, let's do it. 3 minutes on the clock, starting now.
Oh, sorry. Yes. So in Solo, a Star Wars story, they are climbing up a ice mountain, and there's a scene where Chewbacca slips and pulls Han Solo down with him. He isn't this invulnerable, isn't affected by ice. Who isn't affected by ice? Anyway, let me get to my real point number 2, his tech. Mr. Freeze is, of course, a tech-based character, and he's most well known for his freeze gun. This is a gun that can do just about anything. He can use it precise enough to freeze certain parts of his opponent's body or objects. Like he'll freeze people's feet to the ground or freeze your hand to disable your trigger finger. The comics even go to show how this gun works. It freezes the water in your body instantly, causing it to expand. It bursts blood vessels and capillaries just from hitting you. Being frozen solid can easily kill someone. One of Freeze's favorite moves is freezing a guy solid, walking up, and just shattering them with a kick or a big punch. He can create walls. He can create barriers. You guys are saying, hey, there might not be a ceiling here. He can create a ceiling to put ice on to drop on Chewbacca. He creates these barriers for defense. He can even point it at the ground and shoot ice to like propel himself upwards like a jetpack, like a skyscraper funnel of ice. He can create pillars capable of launching cars into the air. He also, this isn't well known, Freeze's gun is double barrel, and half of that barrel shoots fire. And this was interesting because I recently read a comic that takes place between Empire and Return the Jedi, where Chewbacca goes to rescue Han in Carbonite. He goes to face Boba Fett. What does Boba Fett do? He lights Chewbacca on fire, and Chewbacca just loses. He has to be put out by Luke and Leia while Boba Fett gets away. So, he is so skilled with this weapon, he's used it on rooftops, he's sniped cops from rooftops. That's, these are Gotham skyscrapers we're talking about. He uses it to freeze opponents like Batman, Robin, Black Canary, Nightwing, Bane, and even characters as powerful as Firestorm, solid to the point where they could
30
not
seconds
move.
remaining.
One of his favorite moves is freezing opponents solid and then smashing them into a million pieces. He even did this to Clayface once for just making fun of his wife. He was once falling from the sky and used the gun to create an ice slide for a safe landing. He uses it to create bridges across rooftops. He can make a freeze gas that can freeze your lungs just by breathing it in. It's insane what this guy can do.
All right. 1 minute on the clock for Chewie's counterpoint, starting now.
I will say this. As many times as Mr. Freeze has freezing opponents, there's been plenty of times where those opponents have gotten out of the freeze, including Batman, the Joker, Bane, like a lot of characters gets out of it. It's not like it's a thing that's a finite thing. It's very inconsistent, to say the least. And as great as Mr. Freeze is, Freeze has had some major losses to characters who are not on his level, strength-wise or mentality-wise. Freeze is a character who's focused on one singular goal, and that goal is usually the protection of his wife. And if it doesn't have to do with that, he doesn't have as much interest in the battle as he usually does. And also, in terms of the fire gun, that's not a thing that Freeze uses all the time. I'll probably say barely. So I don't know if it'll be a thing that we will pull out in this battle to begin with. But even though if he were to try to pull that out, like I would say, he would have to have the range to do that, and I don't think he would have the range for the bowcaster to really pull that off.
All right, good stuff.
Very
Ray, any thoughts
interesting.
on the second point?
I do.
Yeah.
I'm going to call out a point of strategy for both of you going into the final point, something that I'd like to hear more about. And Delvin Cox, you hinted at it. You didn't go all the way with it. You say Mr. Freeze has lost to people below his own stature, but you didn't tell us who any of those people were. So all I have to do is say, trust me, bro. I want to hear some examples of such. And Matthew Dawson, and maybe it's going to come up in your point number 3, but Mr. Freeze's suit, his armor is often referred to as power armor, which as a Warhammer player, Warhammer 40,000 player, I want to hear more about that as well.
Yeah, no notes. I had the same thought with Delvin's major losses. I was like, what? Which ones?
Yeah, what are they?
So, hopefully we'll find those out.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Can I have a counterpoint?
I guess.
Did we not?
I just want to make sure I get my second counterpoint.
Look, we don't normally do this, and yes, we blew right past that because Delvin was so mesmerizing. But you, I guess, get a counterpoint, I guess.
Wait, did I go first this round?
Right.
You did.
Yeah, you didn't go first.
Oh.
That was my counterpoint. That was 60 seconds, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair,
That was
we
a
decided to
counterpoint.
flip it up
Major
midway, and
losses,
nobody
that
even
was
noticed.
counterpoint.
Okay,
No, that was
okay, because
counter.
the whole lineup just got so scrambled
So
in my
now
brain.
this is
just
my
now.
final point.
Yeah, I didn't plan it that way, but
No,
that's what
we
y'all did.
Okay, so
we
wait,
did.
just
This
for
was-
clarification, round 2 went me point, Delvin counterpoint, and then
That's right.
Delvin point.
No, it went his
No.
point, your
It
counterpoint.
started with Chewie.
That was a counterpoint from him about your point number 2.
Oh my gosh!
That's why it
I'm
was
sorry,
60 seconds.
I just got so
Yes.
scrambled. Forgive me.
No, I mean, here's
All
the
right,
deal.
we're good. Everything's
you
on
convinced
track,
me
except
I was
this
wrong,
cat.
even though I wrote it down.
No, I have the notes. We are on
Okay,
point,
we're on point. Good,
if
good,
you
good.
will.
I will trust Sam Proof from here on out.
His counterpoint was
Okay.
so good. Matthew Dawson needed a second counterpoint.
Hey, this might affect the vote. Me begging for another
important.
counterpoint.
I mean, there
Sounds
it
more
is.
like a mulligan at
Yeah,
this
yeah,
point.
yeah,
that's
So
right.
let's go listen to ads and come back. All right, we're back. This is our third and final point with Chewie, Delvin Cox starting us off. 3 minutes on the clock, starting now.
Okay, you guys asked for a character that easily beat Mr. Freeze, who probably isn't on the level. How about I give you one major one? The Joker. In the comics, in the 90s comics, the Joker beat Mr. Freeze with a water gun and a joy buzzer. Like, you know, that is how he beat Mr. Freeze very quickly, damaging the suit with one blast and kind of taking him out like that. If we go towards the animated series, not the same character we're talking about, but in the same lane, Batman beat Mr. Freeze with chicken noodle soup. You know, it's a well-known thing. You know, Mr. Freeze is a great character, but Mr. Freeze is fallible. And the thing about it, his whole thing has always been the suit has weaknesses. The suit is also like weak to like electricity and fire and explosions and things like that. And once you damage the suit, particularly the helmet, that's it for Mr. Freeze. So if Chewie gets a good shot on the helmet or gets a good shot on the part of the suit that functions where it delivers the ice and stuff like that, that is the end of the battle. There's no more to write about. There's no more to say. Mr. Freeze is powerless at that point. And the thing about it is, with the bowcaster, because it's such a powerful weapon, now if it just shot out regular blaster blast, I would think it probably wouldn't damage Mr. Freeze's suit as bad. But because it shoots out bolts as well as blaster fire, it is very possible that not only is it going to break the helmet, but it's also going to damage the suit. So all it would take is one shot to damage the suit or break that helmet. And that's kind of all she wrote for Mr. Freeze. And let me also add this, for those who are questioning Chewie's shooting ability. There was a scene in The Force Awakens, it is one of my favorite scenes in the movie, where this very, very controversial scene, spoilers for Force Awakens, Kylo Ren murders Han Solo. In a fit of rage, Chewbacca shoots from a very far distance, I would say more than 30 meters, shoots Kylo Ren in the shoulder, injures him in the battle. But people look at that scene. That's one part. But after that happens, he shoots 3 or 4 stormtroopers with precision aim. and just keeps taking them out during that battle.
30
that just
seconds
shows
remaining.
how well of a shot that Chewbacca is. And this is the thing, like I said before, in a long-range battle, I don't think Mr. Freeze has a chance. In a close-range battle, he definitely doesn't have a chance. His only chance to win these battles is either by manipulating the environment. If we're in an open battlefield, it's going to be a lot harder to do that with one thing, when Chewie having grenades, and Chewie being able to just move out of the environment and just keep moving back. So that's my point number 3.
Strong start. All right, Matthew Dawson, 1 minute for your counterpoint, and then we'll get into your actual point. 1 minute on the clock, starting now.
You know how people get out of Mr. Freeze's ice? With help. Usually is Batman and Robin. Robin gets frozen while Batman does something to free him. If you hadn't noticed, Chewie doesn't have Han in this battle. He can't just ride Han Solo's coattails like he did throughout the entire saga here. And you know how they get out, with help, which he doesn't have. And Joker beating Mr. Freeze, he had prep time. He knows who Freeze is. Chewbacca doesn't have that. And losing to Batman's greatest villain isn't, horrible. And I love that scene in The Force Awakens. But once again, Chewie is not hitting headshots. You remember Empire Strikes Back, Cloud City? They're all running away, shooting stormtroopers. I counted. Chewbacca hit half the shots that he fired in that scene. Leia and Lando Calrissian both get more kills in that battle than Chewbacca does. You'd think Chewie's this great warrior. Why can't he hit a headshot? Why can't he, he's good at shooting near people and then the explosion taking them out. That doesn't contribute. So, that's my counterpoint.
All right, good counterpoint. And straight into your third and final point. 3 minutes on the clock for Mr. Freeze, starting now.
I'm glad everyone's begging to hear about this power suit, because I have a whole point dedicated to it. Mr. Freeze has upgraded his armor to the point that it is completely bulletproof. Red Hood, a very smart tactician, member of the Bat family, once set a trap for him where he lured Freeze in, shot him multiple times with pistols. He had automatic turrets set up in this warehouse firing at him. These turrets were all pinging. You could see the bullet deflecting off his helmet, off his body, off his armor. And then he planted an explosive on the dome, blew up, and Mr. Freeze was just standing there. Like, seriously? Why are you wasting my time? He didn't have a scratch on him. He's been shot by bow and arrows. He's had batarangs thrown at him. They all just bounce off his helmet. Acid has been thrown at him. It just goes right off. No effect on him. He's tanked hits from Batman, Catwoman, Clayface, and even heavier hitters like The Flash, Hawkman, and even Superman. He has tanked a hit from Superman. He even froze Superman solid, which, albeit, he did only freeze him solid for 1 second. But if you're getting a train coming at you and you're able to stop the train for a second, that's impressive. So, the suit also amplifies his strength. Freeze is strong enough to punch through metal doors. Remember the trash compactor scene in A New Hope when Chewbacca is helplessly pounding on these doors? Mr. Freeze would just punch through it. He does it all the time. He gets Batman into holds that he can't break free of, and the suit itself emits a temperature that is so cold that metal around it crumbles and freezes, including weaponry. And he also has a pair of wrist-mounted freeze guns on the armor, so in case he does get disarmed, he isn't disarmed. If Chewbacca somehow shoots his gun away, gets in close, does the whole "I'm gonna rip your armor off" thing, and then just freezes him solid. The second he grabs his arm, it's over. He can punch through brick walls. He'll coat his fists with ice to amplify his punches, and he's not slow either. He's moved fast enough to dodge batarangs. He's caught him midair. He beat Batgirl and Robin on a 2-on-1 fight.
30
just
seconds
froze them
remaining.
both solid. He froze Bane solid, and Bane couldn't break free. I would say that Bane is arguably on the level or stronger than Chewbacca, and he couldn't break free. Talon with the Court of Owls went after Freeze and didn't stand a chance. So, yeah, I just don't think Chewbacca has a chance against Mr. Freeze. I'm sorry, Chewie. Bring a coat next time.
All right. Delvin, for your third and final counterpoint, you have 1 minute on the clock, starting now.
I'm glad Matthew said that because I just happened to be looking up characters who broke Mr. Freeze's ice, and he said that Matthew said himself, Bane is on the same level as Chewbacca. Bane has broken Mr. Freeze's ice several times. And let me also add to this, when Chewbacca rips arms, he's not going to scream. He's going to rip them off within seconds. And fortunately for us, Chewbacca is not shooting bullets. He is shooting plasma rounds laced with metal inside of it, which is quite different than just regular rounds. And also, by the way, he also has grenades, thermal grenades. You know what thermal is? It's heat. Something that's going to affect Mr. Freeze very badly. So all it takes is one of those shots from any of those things, and it's lights out for Mr. Freeze. Game over, bro. Game over.
All right. So this is really close. It's so good.
I expect nothing less from Matthew Dalton.
I will
Are we going to
legitimately
break first,
say
Ray?
I
Okay.
do not know which direction I am going in this battle as of this moment. I have notes. I've taken some judges take page after page after page of notes. I take vibe notes. I take notes based on how they make me feel. And that's going to be good enough today because I think I've got the right decision, but I'm going to need to think about it just a little bit. Sam, should we play a certain song?
Yeah, I definitely am going to need a few minutes myself. So let's be back after this.
Sam has weighed all the points made. Two figures met in collision. Now let's find out who would win. It's time to hear Sam's decision.
Start.
All right. Before y'all have a meltdown, let's get into this. You guys did great. This is super close for me, and I may change my mind halfway through this decision as I go. But, I think some of the strongest arguments made were, on Delvin's side, the weaponry, of course, and like the plasma ability to, penetrate the bulletproof armor, which was a fantastic point, but I guess it's on thin ice when you're dealing with plasma. Now, I think the real Wookiee mistake here is that this battle is very possibly, as Eminem would say, you only get the one shot. And if the Wookiee can't make that shot from far and Mr. Freeze closes into that medium range, which Delvin clearly gave up that medium range combat, that's the way the Wookiee crumbles. Damn it. Had that joke, but I'm going to keep going, so forget about it. Look, this is Snow Laughing Matter, but I have to say that I think more than hell is going to have to freeze over for Matthew Dawson to hear me say the thing he wanted me to say 2 other times. I'm sorry, brother. I'm giving this to Delvin Cox and the Wookiee.
Very interesting.
I will
Very
never get a
interesting.
Sam's decision. I've just accepted it.
It was so close, and I wanted to so bad, but I think the plasma argument really was the nail in the coffin.
I think that plasma argument was very, very good, but I will say when I look at all of the points put together, it really does come down to me point number 3, and I knew it would. And basically we have Delvin arguing the power suit of Mr. Freeze isn't that great. And Matthew Dawson arguing the power suit of Mr. Freeze is actually that great. And so if I'm going to take the points as they were laid out in front of me, if I have to choose between a weak suit or a strong suit with Mr. Freeze, well, based on what I've heard today, that suit seems relatively strong. I really do like the argument that that Chewbacca doesn't hit headshots. I thought that was a very excellent shot because I do think that having to hit the bowcaster is an essential victory condition for Chewbacca. That being said, as much as I want to say that Mr. Freeze barely wins this battle, I will say that Mr. Freeze barely wins this battle because I want to. So that's what I'm going to say. And so I think that there were some very specific victory conditions set up for both of our combatants today. But I do think that if it comes down to brass tacks, Matthew, you really won me over just barely. With Chewbacca's not wearing any armor, but Mr. Freeze has power armor. And I really do think that does mean, you might not have said the words power armor like I was trying to pimp you into doing, but you said enough to make me see it in my brain. So I will say officially, and by like the slimmest of margins, Mr. Freeze does wins this battle.
Wow.
This is awesome.
I'll take it.
I'll tell you why this is awesome, because this is truly an episode that has to be decided by the fans. It's a 50% vote on the show, which has never happened.
Sure.
I think this one's going to be close.
Only ever been one judge.
I'm sitting here now and, I'm like, dang, Delvin brought it. Yeah. Like you brought it, Delvin. You did great.
Yeah. You also did fantastic. I knew you were going to do fantastic, but it was amazing. I'm very proud of you. I'll just say that much.
If I could impart anyone, and I read a lot of Mr. Freeze comics for this, and I just want to impart one recommendation. Everyone, please go read Batman One Bad Day, Mr. Freeze. It is a one-shot story. It's about Mr. Freeze on Christmas, and Batman and Robin do something very kind to him, and bad things happen. So, as they tend to do for poor Mr. Freeze.
I've read that book because I'm a big Mr. Freeze fan.
I feel like I've read that
I love
too.
Mr. Freeze.
It's
guys, I haven't read it, so I need to.
Yeah.
That's it. Well, here's the deal. First off, Mr. Delvin Cox, tell us where the people at home can find you. No more pleas for victory. The people will decide it at this point, but where can the people at home find you?
You can find me on the Delvin Cox Experience, or if you want something exciting and fun, check out the Mortalverse. I'm always there too.
Nice.
Well, to talk more about the Mortalverse.
Go ahead, Matthew Dawson. Tell them about the Mortalverse and what that is.
You got some new stuff coming up on the Mortalverse, right?
Yes, you can find me in my ice castle listening to the Mortalverse audio dramas. They're very good. Is that good? Was that like offensive to anyone out there? I apologize.
I think it got good at the end. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, we're over.
We just need
Mortalverse.
Ray to do his Danny DeVito.
Check out Titans Rise if you want to hear Mr. Freeze show up, and check out future stuff we got going. We have just announced the Flash audio drama for our Flash fans out there, and I can just say on air that Ray Stacanis and Delvin Cox are both reprising their roles as Batman and Green Lantern in that show.
That's crazy.
This is an exclusive breaking news that I hope you all enjoy very soon.
I would listen to that.
Yeah, if you need someone to just do like a one-off line of like, "Oh my God, is that Batman?"
I will contact you, Sam, because I think I have something in mind.
I think you just sold yourself, Sam Proof. I'm going to be honest with you.
Sweet.
It seems
guy who sees Batman. Nice.
There it is.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for joining us once again, and good luck to you both. And we will be back, and the results from this will be on a future wrap-up episode. So you've got some time to go vote. Join us over on patreon.com/whowouldwinmasters. Vote on the poll there. Join us over on the Discord from the pinned message there. And if you think you've got what it takes to be in the challenger's chair, record a 1-minute video demo of yourself. Send that to whowouldwinmasters@gmail.com, and we might see you across from, who knows, Ray, other people, whatever. We'll see you on the show. For Who Would Win Masters, this is Sam Proof. Stay strong.